All right, Dave, thank you much. A Detroit police officer first exposed by the 7 Action News investigators could be headed off for a stint in federal prison. She pleaded guilty in federal court today in a payroll fraud scheme. 7 Action News investigator Scott Lewis first broke this story about a year and a half ago. And Scott, what kind of scheme was this officer running?
Officer Kim Mosby Colbert was the timekeeper at Detroit's Southwest District, and investigators discovered she was doing a little creative bookkeeping on her own time card. They say she stole tens of thousands of dollars by padding her own timesheet.
Could I ask you a couple questions?
Excuse me?
Did you embezzle some money from the Detroit Police Department?
No.
Are you a police officer, suspended?
Yes.
Well, I'm told that they're investigating that you were padding your overtime and they suspended you.
They suspended me, but I wasn't embezzled. It wasn't embezzlement.
That's what the disgraced former cop told 7 Action News in July of 2011. But today in federal court, she was singing a different tune. Mosby Colbert pled guilty to defrauding the Detroit Police Department out of $30,000, getting paid for work she never did. Law enforcement sources told me Colbert was turning in an hour or two of overtime each pay period, but after it was approved by the boss, she would alter it, making an hour of overtime into 10 hours or changing 2 hours to 12. Eventually, the scheme was caught when a commander did an audit. He wondered how a cop who worked 8 to 4 inside the station was racking up so much overtime. Internal Affairs launched an investigation, and eventually they turned it over to the FBI because there were federal funds involved. Mosby Colbert resigned after she was charged. This conviction carries a maximum of 10 years in prison and or a $250,000 fine. And Mosby Colbert could also be forced to pay up to $30,000 in restitution. U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid said she hopes this conviction will send a message to other public officials that they'll be held accountable if they steal public funds. Scott Lewis, 7 Action News.